as a mentor, and I don't
Sorry.
have those problems with the 1099, and like I have all that stuff written on my job ad, and I get a lot of applicants, and I'm fine. So then my new partners are trying to do it. They're going off of what I have, and it's not working for them.
Yeah, because, and to be honest with you, there's somebody that they actually had Evolution as their place of work. And they are still able to post, but that's because they started like multiple years ago and it's been approved. Like LinkedIn is no longer really looking at their stuff anymore. So new agents, they can't go off of what those of us that have been doing this for a year or more, they can't go off of what we did.
Okay.
It is getting more and more strict. So we're having to change those things so that they can get it approved. It's ever evolving, basically.
Yeah.
Let's see, Crystal. So many people have expressed, okay, I talked about LinkedIn. I have not used Glassdoor and I haven't used Angie's List or ZipRecruiter. I have used Craigslist, guys. Craigslist does cost. I believe I did mine in either Tulsa or Oklahoma City because I live in Oklahoma. It was like $25 for the whole month. I've also done it for Dallas and LA. That was like $45 for the whole month, but I got a lot of people that responded to it. Like, I mean, people are looking for jobs on there. So if you have the extra money for that, then it's not a bad idea. You just have to make sure that you have the extra money for it. I have used Upwork. I've had a lot of success with Upwork until they banned me for contacting people outside of Upwork. That one gets really tricky as well. It used to be a lot easier to use and they're kind of cracking down now. I haven't used Career Builder. Indeed is practically impossible to get on, guys. If you go to Indeed and you try to make a business profile and post a job, you might, and I'm talking might as in like maybe 0.0000001% of the time, you might get on Indeed for all of 30 minutes. You cannot go through Indeed with our job and get on there. They will close you down. I have had some agents that have gotten on there and been on there for like a day. But that just doesn't normally happen. Are you holding your hand up to say something?
Yes.
Oh, you could have.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
You could have just popped in and been like, "Hey, homie, I want to say something."
No, I didn't want to interrupt you. I got manners. Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to add to the Indeed. So with Indeed, I wouldn't, for a brand new builder, I wouldn't even entertain that idea. And I know I'm going to say that, and I know somebody who's a new builder is going to try it anyways, but let me plead my case here. There's certain things that you need to increase the chances of you getting on for even 1 or 2 hours. One, you must have a business email. Okay. So if you have a business, a custom website, even better. Probably one of the best things that you can do to increase the chances is you must get an EIN and it must have your business name on there. I have spoken to another agent who was able to get on Indeed, and she had said that they requested her EIN, they requested paperwork from basically the IRS. So if you are trying to just hop over to Indeed because you think it's gonna, I mean, it really is like team building on steroids, but there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. So if you get off this meeting today and you don't have any of those things and you try, you basically are going to shoot yourself in the foot because there goes your one opportunity. So you want to have all those things in place. In addition to that, for anybody who in fact gets on, you must be prepared for a couple of things. One, they're going to come quick. So Indeed applicants, they don't like to wait a few days or a week or anything like that. So you must be laser focused in replying and scheduling those people for the meetings. Two, I would highly recommend you invest in Calendly because that's going to be your best friend. That's going to be your baby. Three, as quickly as they come, they'll leave in even faster. Indeed, agents, right, when they sign up, they really have a strong 9 to 5 mentality. So I always tell people, you may get some people who are good. I'm not going to try to scare anybody away from it, but you do have to be prepared mentally that someone may sign up and they'll leave just as quickly. So that doesn't mean, don't kind of get your ducks in a row and try it, but I don't like to fluff team building, right? Like it's just, I've experienced it. I think Hawaiian has experienced it a long time ago when she first started team building. Anybody who has tried Indeed will tell you they can leave just as fast as they come. So we just want to have kind of a strong mindset in going into that. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes. So we own a corporation that's based out of Southern California with the EIN and all of that. I wonder if I can sneak this under them.
What is
'Cause
your
it's
corporation?
what is it?
Mhm.
Construction.
Okay.
It's just called
So-
SoCal Stoneworks.
So
but I've
you
never
would have
posted-
one or two options there. You could say like, hey, our company's looking for a travel agent, right? And you have that information available if they requested it. Or two, you would have to do kind of like a sneaky workaround, which I don't really like sneaky because I don't like to deceive people. I've heard other leaders like on the other side of the organization or the company kind of try to be sneaky. For me, it's too much. So you could, just say, hey, our business is looking for, we're looking to hire travel agents. You could try that.
Okay, that
But
would make sense. I would rather do that than try to be sneaky because
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, you could, try that. Just when I tell you, you need to be prepared for the amount of applicants. Like you have to make sure that you have some dedicated hours.
Yeah.
If you're only dedicating 1 hour to team building a day, I don't know what you're dedicating. I'm just kind of, speaking in general. You'll definitely have to increase that because they come quick and you need to schedule them quick.
Yeah, she's not playing.
But I mean, you can most definitely try that if you already have that information.
okay, well, that goes with my next question I put in the chat, but just the favorite presenters, because I mean, if Indeed's gonna come and I only like, 2 or 3 presenters, is that gonna, am I shooting myself in the foot with that? Should I open it to everybody and all presentations?
I mean, that's going to be up to you, quite honestly. I do have my favorites, and I have some that I don't normally schedule with, but at the end of the day, that's a call that you'll have to make, whether you want to at least schedule for one presenter a day, right? Because sometimes we do have multiple, and if they're what I call strong presenters, then you schedule for all of them. But if it's between two, I don't want to say not as strong because I feel like that sounds ugly, but not as strong, right? Then you either decide for yourself, okay, I'm going to schedule for both, or I'm going to schedule for the one I think is better out of the two, if that makes sense. Oh, that sounded horrible.
The
Felt
one
bad
you
just saying.
prefer.
One you
Right,
prefer.
well,
Yes. There you
Okay,
go. That's
Yeah,
better.
because what you think or who you think is better may not be the same as who I would think is better, which may not be the same as who Christina thinks is better, right? So it's not
That is facts.
necessarily that they're better. It's who do you prefer in their style? Whose style do you
Sweating
like?
over here.
yeah, but then if you open, I mean, like my style might not be the applicant. They might be like, this person is off the
Right.
wall.
You don't know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you
just-
really don't
Yeah,
know.
you don't know that.
Okay.
Now, granted, I will say this, like they don't know any better, right? So like
Yeah.
we as builders, we know better because we've sat on everybody's presentation and we know the differences in them. But a new agent, a prospect, they've never seen the presentation before, in theory. They've never seen the presentation before, so they don't know if it's a good presenter or a not so good presenter, right? They don't really know any different with that. So that's a little piece of advice too.
Should have
let's-
went with that answer. That sounded a whole lot better than mine.
Caitlin, how do we access Calendly? So if you have access to Profit Pool, there is actually a video on there on how to set up Calendly. But it does
Okay, I have no
cost.
idea what y'all are talking about.
Do what? Okay, don't know what that was. So is Caitlin still on here?
Yeah, I'm still.
Okay, there you are. Okay. So on Profit Pool, there is a video on how to set up Calendly. It does cost though. So you do have to do the paid version. I think they have a trial. I don't remember how long the trial is, but once that ends, you would have to do the paid version in order to use it. I highly suggest it. I team built for probably the first 9 months without it. And finally gave in and was like, okay, I'm just going to learn how to do this and I'm going to use it. And like, I wish I would have done it from the get-go, honestly. So it is, I think it's like 15 a month, which is also a tax write-off. But I think it's like 15 a month. So you can watch that video. Julie Lund does it on Profit Pool. And she can show you like how to set it up and everything. When leading a team where you have a team chat and your partners start building, do you only reach out to your direct partners or do you reach out like weekly to your lineage? And do you try to get those builders to try to get them to add those partners in your team chat along with, say, JSS? So Heather, honestly, for me, I have my team chat. I will post in my team chat. I'll post in there kind of like Christina does in JSS sometimes where she's like, what's up guys? What's going on? What are we working on? Right? What's our goals for the week? Whatever. I'll post that. But like, if my downline doesn't really say anything, right? Or if my agents don't really say anything, that's okay. I only reach out to my direct agents about once a month if I haven't heard from them. I don't reach out to anybody else that's, not direct to me, basically. Like any of my agents that have a team, I don't reach out to their team because that's their job unless, now there's a but, there's an unless I know that that agent is not doing their job. Okay, so I do have one agent that hasn't really like mentored her agents. So I have mentored them, but they have come to me first and said, hey, I'm not getting a response from my mentor. That's how I found out she wasn't really saying anything. I'm not getting a response from my mentor. I need help with this, right? And so from then on, I said, okay, just go ahead and message me, right? Like you can just come directly to me. So that's the only time that I really step outside that, right? Like the only time I kind of work around that mentor. Now, I will send an email to my downline just because I'm above a gold, so I can email my entire downline from my back office. But it is usually simple information like, hey, this is when the team meeting is this month. Hey, convention is coming up. Here's some really good information about that. Regionals is coming up. Here's some good information about that. I'm always here if you need anything, but please go to your mentor directly. If you don't get a response from them, you can always reach out to me, right? But I don't work around them. I let them lead their partners. If they don't add them to my chat, then that's on them, right? Like I'm not going to make them, hey, you need to put your people in my chat. That's on them. Now, if I have some of their agents that are coming to me and they're like, hey, Ashley, I got your email. My mentor's not there for me. They're not helping me. I need some help. Okay, let me go ahead and add you to my chat and keep my contact information so that I can help you. Obviously I'll reach out to that mentor to like verify, because sometimes we have agents that are like, hey, I'm not getting help, when in reality they are, right? They're just not taking the coaching and all of that and putting it into practice. So I try to let my mentors and my agents do their thing, right? Like we don't want to take it over for them. Like if Christina came to me and was like, hey bro, like you're not putting people in my chat and you need to do that.
You would leave them.
Right. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to worry about yourself, boo. Right. Because that's my team. And maybe I don't run my team the same way she does. Maybe I'm a little bit different. That doesn't make my way wrong and her way right. Right. I mean, not that we run it different because we really don't, but just as an example, you have to let them kind of do their own thing. Not everybody's the same person. Not everybody has the same style, but that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Who are your favorite presenters to use? So I'm not going to answer that question. Simply because it's not that I don't like other presenters. Like I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want anybody to like feel like, oh, Ashley doesn't think I'm a good presenter or something like that. It's not about that. There are certain things that I look for in presenting. And if you don't really do that, then a lot of times, like, I'm probably not going to schedule with you, or I'm only going to schedule with you in a certain event, right? Situation. But I don't want to answer that question and make anybody feel bad. So it's all like a personal decision. Who do you connect with, or who do you feel like connects with the people on the presentations when they present, right? I have had people, I'm not like trying to toot my own horn. If you don't like my style, that's okay. I'm 100% okay with that. But I've had people come to me and be like, Ashley, you know what? My prospect said that they really connected with you. They really, felt like they got to know you, like you were real, right? I like that. So like, if I have prospects that feel that way about people, then I'm going to connect, I'm going to present, or I'm going to schedule with those presenters, right? I had one the other day that told me how much they love Christina after they got off her presentation, right? And I shared that with her. So that's really where I would say, like, find people that have that same like mentality as you, or that you feel really connect with the prospects. And my biggest thing I'll tell you is, I want someone who is going to share all the information, regardless if it takes over the time, right? I somewhat care about the time, but in reality, I care more about the fact that you are giving them all the information that they need. So I don't want someone who's just going to rush through it to try and get done in 45 minutes or right on the hour. You look at me, Christina, Amy, none of us make it in that hour, right? We're always like an hour 10, hour 15, somewhere around there before we're actually done, because we make sure to present all of the information. So you said not to put work from home or 1099, but should we not talk about commission either? So Tara, on LinkedIn, no, don't say anything about commissions, about commission pay. They don't allow commission pay jobs on there. So should we just get on all of the presentations to see who we want to schedule with? Absolutely, Katie. Absolutely. I would highly suggest to sit on some of the presentations and see, like, what do you like about this person? What do you like about this person? Or what do you not like about this person? Right. That way you can kind of make a decision on that. Guys, you don't have to schedule with every single presenter if you don't want to. Like I said, like if I'm not your style, that's okay. I'm okay with that. Right. Don't schedule with me if I'm not your style and you don't get signups from me. Right. Maybe your prospects don't like me. That's okay. I'm a big girl. I can take it. Right. But if you're not going to get signups off of mine, then don't schedule with me, because then it almost feels like a waste, right? Like, oh, I scheduled this person, but like, I'm not getting anybody off of them, but I'm going to keep scheduling. Like, that just doesn't make sense. Right. So Tira, the biggest thing is, if you have already been posting jobs on there and you have been put in review every time, you need to take a break for a minute. You need to take a break from posting a job, because they have you like in an algorithm thing that they're just going to put you in review every single time. So my biggest thing, guys, is if you're trying to post on LinkedIn and you're getting put in review time after time, take a break from trying to post a job. Just post on there, like post on your page, make more connections, join some groups. There's groups on LinkedIn too, just like on Facebook. Join some groups on there, like let them see that you're an actual real person, and give it a little bit of time. I would say at least a week, maybe even 2. How do we know when the presentations are to schedule? So Caitlin, that's in the team building chat. If you're not in there, you'll need to have your mentor add you. But in the team building chat, there is a calendar that has the times for all of the presentations. Yeah, you're welcome. No problem. Yeah, KGB, me and you both, homie. We both long-winded. That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We got
Look,
something to say.
I mean, we do, you know. I tried every time I say, okay, I'm gonna try to be quicker than I was the last time, and it never happens.
Yeah, me either. I always
I
have
just
that
accept
going
it.
into it too. I'm like, oh, let me slim this down here and this here. And then somehow I add it on at the end or in the middle somewhere else and it comes out the same amount of time. I'm like,
Look,
"God."
I shave 1 minute off over here to add 3 more minutes over here.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I looked at my time and I was like, at the 30 mark, man, I'm doing good. Still didn't end until 10 after the hour. It's like, well, there goes that again.
There goes that. Yeah. Do you manually schedule each person yourself for them, or do you send them your Calendly link to schedule themselves? So, me and KGB, we gonna disagree on this one. And this is one of the few places that we do.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
Because I send it to them. I send it and have them do it. I ain't got time. I ain't got time to have them send me their information and then me go in and schedule it and blah, blah, blah. I ain't got time for that. I got too much going on. I got 2 kids running around here like friggin' monkeys half the time. And I got too many people I'm inviting to the meeting. So me personally, I don't schedule them. I let them schedule themselves. Now, KGB might be a different story.
I do both. So I've done both in the past. I used to just send the link, then I scheduled them. I saw maybe it's a seasonal thing, I don't know. But then I saw that I got better results if I manually schedule. Here lately, because I have been doing more things, I have been sending the Calendly link. Here's kind of like, for me personally, the pro on manually scheduling them, and by manually, I mean like me getting their information, I go to Calendly and I put it in, right? The pro on that for me is now it's you kind of start the rapport with them, right? Now I won't go back and forth with them, I still provide them 2 to 3 times depending on the day and how many presentations there are. But the pro on sending them the Calendly link is if you have it on a rolling 2 or 3 days, they can, no matter what, at any time, go check what the schedule looks like, right? So let's just say that I did send them 2 to 3 times and they're like, those times don't work for me, but they don't want to speak up and tell me that, then that kind of just ends there. Whereas the pro on the calendar, like sending the link, is they could go back and look at any time and schedule. So I think I've done both. I'll probably revert at some point back to manually scheduling them. But kind of I don't want to say downside, but kind of the downside, like Ashley mentioned, is when you manually schedule them, you do have to then go back to your emails and check them and then, do all of that. And for what I've been doing the past couple of months, as far as like extra activities and back end stuff, running the organization and helping beach bosses, sometimes I don't have that time. And if I'm catching up on emails and scheduling people at night, then it kind of cuts into the time frame of them being able to schedule for the next morning. Does that make sense? Whereas they could just go ahead and schedule themselves. So that's always going to be like an agent preference thing. You can do both. You can, manually schedule during the day. When you're responding to people at night, send the Calendly link, try both and see which ones you're going to get a better response on.
Anybody else have questions?
Heather, every time you put your words in caps, I always like read it as in mine, like each word. Like you're yelling.
I promise I don't bite too hard, Kristen.
Oh, don't bite me, girl. Trust me, I'm harder.
Hey, I was in arm's reach of Ashley and I didn't bite her. So
True story.
She might have bit you back.
hey, whatever.
Listen, this mouth doesn't go on anything like that, okay? No, thank you. I ain't trying to do all that. Okay, so guys, couple of tips that I have found that really help for me when it comes to team building. Obviously, I mean, like I told Kristen earlier, right? Like in all serious, In all seriousness, I really do eat, sleep, and breathe it. Like, y'all, I'm not kidding when I say that. You can ask Christina. Christina knows. I be texting her all the time about all these different things, right? So I really do eat, sleep, and breathe it, but that's because that is like, I keep my goals in the forefront of my mind, right? Like, I know what I'm trying to achieve and I know how quickly I'm trying to achieve it. I have a massive, massive why that I am trying to accomplish right now, and that is retire my husband. I know what I need to do in what rank I need to be, what income I have to have. I know what I have to have in order to do that. And I live with a husband who is telling me on a daily basis, babe, I hate my job. When are you going to get me retired? When are you going to get me retired? Right. So I have to listen to that. And then he's moping around and he's all cranky and all of that stuff. So ain't nobody got time for that. All right. No. So I have that daily reminder of what I'm pushing for. Right. Right, Cassie, I'm telling you. So I have that daily reminder that that is more important to me than anything. Right. Like, I've got to get that done. And it also helps me because I feel like a single parent right now because he works overnight. So like right now he's sleeping and he will be sleeping most of the day and he'll be up for about an hour and then he'll go to work. Right. So like, I feel like a single parent. So for when I retire him, that helps me too. Right. Like now I can focus on other stuff a little better once he's done. So I have that, and it is literally at the forefront of my mind all the time as to what I'm working for. Going to Bryson's soccer practice on Mondays or going whatever, right? When I'm doing whatever it is, I still have my phone. And if an agent messages me or if a prospect, if there's a meeting going on and a prospect needs me, like I still have my phone there, right? And maybe I'm a little bit distracted sometimes, but that's just temporary, right? Once I hit my goal and we kind of get things to settle down a little bit, then I can be a little more present in other moments. But there's that. Number two, I always send a personal text message from my personal cell phone number 30 to 40 minutes before the meeting. And basically it reads like, hey, this is Ashley. I have you scheduled for a presentation in 20, 30, 40 minutes, whenever I send it. I just want to confirm that you're going to be there, right? I want them to text me back. When they do, and they say, yes, I got it or whatever, or I'll ask, did you get the Zoom information? And I just want to confirm that you'll be there. Yes, I got it. I'll be there, whatever. Great. Our host today, like for today is Angela, right? Our host today is Angela. She's one of our senior travel agents. She's going to be answering questions and all of that. I do highly suggest that you have pen and paper and take some notes, right? And then I'll follow up with you after the meeting. So I send that about 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes before the meeting. I send that to them so that they have my personal cell phone number first off, so that after the meeting, they have that, right? Number two, I make sure that they got it because sometimes I get people that are like, oh, no, I haven't received the Zoom information. Okay, great. Let me send it to you. Right. So now I catch those people that maybe didn't see their email and didn't get the Zoom information. Yeah, I got it today too. So I do that. No, I do that from my personal cell phone number. So I go, nope, not a mass text either. So I go into Calendly. And like, this is Diana. I hold down Diana's phone number right here and hit send message that pops up right there, send message. And then I send her this message. She was one that I sent it to. Hey, Diana. And I put her name in it. This is Ashley. We have you scheduled for a Zoom meeting to discuss becoming a remote travel agent coordinator, and I'm confirming that you have received the Zoom information for the meeting starting in 30 minutes. She messaged back, yes, I received it. Thank you. I sent back, great. Our host today is Angela. She's a member of our team and senior agent. She'll provide the necessary information. I do recommend having pen and paper to take notes. We'll see you soon. She said, okay, sounds good. Right. So now, yeah, you have a variation because I got it from you. So now she has my personal cell phone number and she knows I'm a real person, right? Like I sent her that. Now I copy and paste that first part. I copy and paste that to each of the people, but I input their name in each of them. So that they know, like, it's personalized, right? So I go through Calendly, and once I get done with hers and send it, I go to the next person, hold down their cell phone number, hit send message, do the same thing, right?
You
Yeah,
can, real quick,
Go ahead.
you can also, there is an app called Reach for, I think it's just for iPhone users. That, look, we're not going to get into all that, right? But I know for sure it's for iPhone users. You might be able to download it for Androids, but there's an app. So what I've actually been doing is I will export from my Calendly, I will import into my Google Sheets, and this is all in preparation, right? Because I was doing it like Ashley. But I also I'm OCD, so I write down their names in my notebook and I check them off and I do all these little dots and stuff. So what I do is I export from Calendly. I then pull it into Google Sheets. I do a CSV file and I put it over to Reach, and it makes it quicker when you are texting them. So this is what the Reach app looks like. I don't know if y'all can, oh shoot. Where'd it go? So it looks like that. Can y'all see it? It's just like an R. So it's called a Reach. So you're able to put all of their information. Where's today's? So here's all their information, right? They're all in a group, and it doesn't send a group text. It sends it individually. But then I go to the message, and you can't see it, but that's my variation. Okay. So then all I have to do is click that, and I pick which group I want to send, and I just hit send. So, but I do sometimes do it like Ashley, like if I don't have time to do this, but then I go the extra mile because I like printing stuff out, I guess. And I make a whole spreadsheet of them. And when they text me back, I make a little dot. Like, I don't know if you can, this
She
is
likes-
today's
She likes to
today's
go above
list.
and beyond.
So I make the little dot, and then when I still go through the entire list and I check off who's there. But I do a variation of hey, this is Christina, and the second message as well. So there's a couple of ways you can do that, but I think I speak for both Ashley and I when I say highly recommend sending the personal text message, not just letting Calendly send everything, right? Automation is great, but sometimes you do have to have that personal touch on there, just like with booking travel. So sending out that message 30 to 40, 45 minutes before the meeting. And this way it takes a good chunk of the guesswork out of it. Like, oh, I wonder if they're going to show up. I wonder if they're not going to show up. You know, at least you can get yes, I'll be there. I've even got, no, I have to reschedule. Okay, cool. Here, you can go ahead and reschedule. I'll cancel your spot. And that's more so for me, so I can keep track. I'll cancel your spot. You can go ahead and reschedule using this link, and I send them the Calendly link again. Or no, I'm no longer interested. All right, great. Thank you so much. Keep me in mind for your travel needs, But it takes a good chunk of the guessing work out of it, right? So that way you have more or less an idea of who's actually going to be there, who you can look for.
Yeah.
Oh,
Last thing that I'll share now, because I know it's getting to the end of that meeting, so I don't want anybody having to track us down. Last thing that I'll share now is that I reach out to my prospects at the end of the meeting, usually about the time they're going through Q&A is when I reach out to those that are on the meeting and say, hey, just want to follow up and get your feedback about the meeting. What was your favorite part? I don't wait for them to reach out to me. I don't even wait for them to say, hey, message your mentor if you're ready to get started, and let them know you need the link. I don't even wait for that. I need them to have a message waiting on them, so that when they do say that, they already have my message right there. They're not having to like go back in their phone. Well, is this her or is this her? Because most of them don't save your number, right? When you send them that message before the meeting. And if they get invited by multiple people and I've messaged them, then they're going to respond to me first instead of somebody who's waiting on them to follow up, right? And send a message that says, hey, I need the link, right? So I always reach out to my people about the time they're going through Q&A. so that I can get their feedback. And guys, my question is not, hey, are you ready to get started? My question is, hey, what was your favorite part? They message me back. Oh, I love the perks. Oh my gosh, I love the perks too. That's my favorite part. Or the flexibility. Oh man, the flexibility has been awesome for my family, right? It's allowed me to stay at home with my kids. I relate back to them, and then I'll ask them, did all your questions get answered? Because I want to make sure that they don't have any other questions. If they do, I'll answer them right then, right? If they say no, you know, they're all answered, great. So are you ready to get started with us today, or something of that variation, right? Or I know they're about to walk everybody through the sign up process. Do you need the sign up link so that you can be ready to go? So Christina and I have talked. We are going to do this about once a week, where we have a JSS exclusive team building Q&A / workshop. Some weeks we may do like a workshop. Sometimes we'll do a Q&A. We're going to trade off on doing it. So 1 week she'll do it, 1 week I'll do it. That will start in February. So be looking for that, guys. We want all of JSS to get moving, right? We want to be able to help all of you guys to reach your goals. So we're going to do that at least once a week, and we'll have this platform. And if it's like, hey, we need to come on and we need to walk through LinkedIn together. Okay, cool. We'll do that. Right. So it just gives you that extra Q&A that you can attend and get some questions asked. All right, guys. Well, go ahead and follow up with your agents. I got to jump off and get contacting with mine. But we'll let you know on when the next one of these will be, most likely next week sometime, but we'll post it in the chats for sure. And I will see you guys later.
Thank you, Ashley.
Welcome.